Hello and welcome back to Fallout 76. Once again, it's time to do some legendary crafting, and today we'll be doing Strangler Heart Power Armor, which is probably the most ridiculously expensive armor in the game. Each piece that you craft is 27 vault steel and 1 legendary module. Legendary module makes no sense because the armor you get is not legendary. So I don't have any specific goal in mind in terms of the effects I'm going for. I basically just want a set to mess around with. The unfortunate thing about Strangler Heart is it uses the Ultrasight mods, and some of those are kind of rare. And one of those really rare ones is Calibrated Shocks, which this character does not know. Because the Strangler Heart is not tradable, there's no way to have another character mod it for me. So unfortunately, I'm kind of limited what I could do with this, but I still want a set to mess around with. I've crafted 4 of every kind, or of every piece. And I'm gonna do at least 100 modules, somewhere in that neighborhood. So let's just get right to it. We'll start with left arm. And we've got, what do we have? We've got Overeaters, that's a good start. Cryo Resistance, not crazy about that. Chance to deal cryo damage to a melee attacker, that's okay. So Overeaters is okay, although it's power armor. You don't really need that, but that's a fair start. Next up, we will do a left leg, and we are going to get a Troubleshooter's piece, which with fire resist and food, drink, and chem weight reduction. Okay, I do like fire resistance. I think that's a good effect. I don't run Funky Duds or Sizzling Styles, so I do like poison resistance and fire resistance on armor. Troubleshooters, decent effect, I think, on armor for damage reduction. Although I do run electric absorption, and that does a lot to reduce the damage from robots as well. But this is also a fair piece. All right, now we'll do a right arm, and we will get assassins with +1 strength and sweet spot while lockpicking. Okay, well that last star is completely useless, especially for me because I have Master Infiltrator maxed out on this character, so that doesn't do anything for me. +1 strength is good. That's extra carry weight, extra melee damage if I choose to do that. Damage from humans, that's not really all that useful unless you're doing PvP because the human enemies in this game just aren't that dangerous. Now let's do a right leg. Troubleshooters again with cryo resist and chance to deal fire damage to melee attackers. Cryo resistance, I don't find that all that useful. Now, if it kept you from getting frozen from those kind of attacks, that would be good, but cryo damage just isn't really much of a thing in this game, so I don't really find that useful. Damage from robots, that's okay, like I've talked about before, and chance to deal extra damage to melee attackers, it's really just not that much damage. I mean, it's 12 fire damage. Was it 12 per second for 4 seconds? It's really not all that useful, but it is something. All right, time for a torso. Ghoul Slayers, +1 endurance, and food, drink, and chem weight reduced by 20%. So if I had a bunch, overall that food, chem, and drink weight reduction, that's actually pretty good because it can actually take care of, there's 2 different perks. There's Traveling Pharmacy and Through Hiker. So if you actually had a full set of that, you could free up, 6 points of perks. So that's actually pretty good. I tend to prefer weapon weight, but in this case, whatever. Extra damage reduction from ghouls. Ghouls don't really do much, so that's not all that useful. +1 endurance, a little bit of extra health, but again, not all that great. We're in power armor, so that 3rd star is okay, but not really something I'm looking. This would not be my first choice of effects. All right, time for another left arm, and we've got bolstering, which I am not a fan of. Anything that gives me extra resistance and power armor, you just don't need it. I'd rather have something that gives a damage reduction. +1 luck, I'm not going to be doing VATS, so luck really isn't going to do anything for me at all. And another chance to deal damage to melee attackers. It's okay. I mean, that's fine for tagging. If you're in an event where there's a lot of enemies and they're melee enemies and they're swarming you, that's a good way to get tags in. But other than that, I don't find that effect all that useful. All right, another left leg. We've got Overeaters, which I like. Fire resistance, which I also like. Chance to deal damage to melee attackers. I don't love it, but I guess if you had a full set where it was all chance to deal, they'd probably constantly be dealing damage. So overall, this is actually an okay piece. I think I probably like this. Out of all the ones we've gotten so far, I think I like this one the best. All right, time for another right arm. We've got Zealots, poison resistance, and another chance to deal. So it looks like pretty much most of the pieces are chance to deal some sort of damage to melee attackers. So I may end up with a full set of that, which I guess is okay. Poison resistance, I do like that. Damage reduction from Scorched, it's okay. I mean, there's a lot of Scorched in the game, so this will affect a lot of enemies. They don't tend to be super dangerous, but overall, this is actually an okay piece. Another right leg coming up. Zealots again, +1 strength, and effectiveness of Stimpaks, Radaway, and Radax. Okay, that 3rd star I don't find useful at all. +1 strength, it's okay if I end up doing melee with this character, which I might do, so that could actually be useful. Again, we've talked about Scorched already, or Zealots already, so that's okay. Another torso coming up. Bolstering. I do not like bolstering. AP regen, that's an okay effect. And another chance to deal damage to enemies. Although poison, I don't find poison to be all that dangerous to the enemies. Everything seems to have really high poison resistance. So I don't really think that 3rd star in this case is all that good. So overall, I'm not thrilled with this piece. Now that we have 2 of everything, it's time for round 3. Let's do another left arm. We've got cloaking. Being hit in melee generates a stealth field. I think that is the stupidest effect. I mean, if I'm getting hit in melee, turning invisible at that point, it's kind of too late. They're right there, so not that great. +1 agility, it's okay. It's not really the special I'd be looking for on a power armor character. Ammo weight reduction, I'm not really looking for that either. I have cards for that. So overall, I don't like this piece at all. Another left leg, we've got Zealots. Geez, another Zealots piece. +1 intelligence and ammo weight reduction. +1 intelligence is useful for leveling. I don't really care about levels at this point on this character. Ammo weight reduction, not really looking for that. And Zealots is okay, but I've already got a couple of Zealots rolls. So yeah, this piece is gonna be a throwaway, I think. Another right arm coming up. Hunters. +1 endurance and chance to reduce damage while not moving. Okay, Hunters. I mean, for a mix and match set where you're looking for different, to mix in different enemy reductions, that's okay. +1 endurance, a little bit of extra health, but really, you don't really need that in power armor, I don't think. And that last star again, chance to reduce damage while not moving. I mean, for me, a 75% chance to reduce damage by 15%, I'm not really thrilled with those effects. I know some people really like them. I don't find them all that useful. Right leg coming up. Bolstering, I do not like bolstering. AP regen, it's okay. And again, chance to reduce damage while not moving. This being bolstering, for me, is almost an immediate throwaway, and those other effects just don't thrill me enough, so I don't think I'll be using this piece. And another torso, we've got Hunters again with +1 endurance, and less damage taken while blocking. Well, since I never block, that 3rd star is never going to do anything, and endurance, really not looking for that. Animals, I mean, it's okay for part of a mix and match set, but overall, I'm just not thrilled with this piece. Time for round 4, left arm. We've got another Hunter's piece, but this time we have poison resistance, which I really like. Food, drink, and chem weight reduced by 20%, which could be okay if I have enough of those cards, or enough of those pieces to actually take some cards off. That could be useful. Got a left leg right here. Chameleon, I don't love Chameleon. I never sneak in power armor, so that 1st star is actually never going to do anything. Cryo resist, I don't find useful either, so yeah. Overall, this is just a throwaway piece. All right, right arm number 4 coming up. We've got mutants, and I am mutated, although it's extra resistance, so you don't need that in power armor. You get enough just with regular power armor. +1 strength, though, that could be useful for melee. And damage reduction while not moving, that's okay. This is kind of a meh piece for me. Another right leg. Mutants again. I'm not thrilled with mutants, but we do have weapon weight reduction, which I do like that effect. And hunger and thirst grow slower. I don't find that useful. Food is so plentiful in this game that that's not really something I need. So I would say that 3rd star is good. The other 2 are kind of useless. And a torso. Mutants, 3 mutants pieces in a row. Everything's random, that's for sure. Another weapon, yeah, mutants and weapon weight reduction. Less explosion damage that's okay, I guess. I mean, power armor reduces stuff quite a bit, so it's really not something you're gonna need all that much. I guess if you had a full set, it could be pretty useful though. Weapon weight reduction, always a good thing, but mutants, not useful at all. So I'm going to re-roll this right leg. I didn't see any right legs that I'm really looking to keep, so we're gonna try for some more. Let's get rid of this bolstering piece. And turn into troubleshooters with less explosion damage, sweet spot. That's still not really a great combination of effects, I don't think. I mean, that 3rd star is never going to help me at all. 2nd star is barely useful. And that 1st star, again, less robot damage is good, except a lot of them do energy damage, which with electric absorption actually helps me. So yeah, probably re-roll this one. I'm going to re-roll this Hunter's torso. It's not really a combination of effects I'm looking for. And we've got bolstering, which is never an effect I'm looking for. +1 charisma. Oh, this is completely useless. Bolstering's useless. Charisma, not helpful at all. So, this one's terrible. I have another torso here. It's a different bolstering torso. I'm just getting so much bolstering. So let's get rid of this one. Ghoul Slayers with extra radiation resistance and damage while blocking. Okay, damage while blocking, never useful because I never block. Radiation resistance between power armor and what rads? That's not going to do anything for me either. And I don't really need less damage from ghouls, so yeah, this piece is terrible. I'm still hunting for a torso that I want to keep, so let's re-roll this Ghoul Slayer's torso. Overeaters, less explosion damage, and chance to deal fire damage to melee attackers. Okay, that's a little better. I mean, Overeaters is better than the other ones. Less explosion damage is okay. I'm not thrilled with it, but chance to deal fire damage, again, not thrilled with it, but it's okay. I'm going to re-roll this Troubleshooter's right leg. Doesn't really have any effects that I'm looking for, so let's try it here. Although I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know what I'm not looking for. How about that? Hunters, that's okay as part of a mix and match set. Less disease chance, that's not... the problem with that one is you never know if it's actually helping you or not, so I'm not even convinced that does anything. And that 3rd star, it just kind of comes up over and over again, so this is not a keeper either. I'm going to re-roll this Mutant's right leg. Turn it into Troubleshooters with less explosion. Another less explosion damage. I may end up with enough of these pieces that I'll be completely immune to explosions. And chance to deal fire damage to melee attackers. All right, let's re-roll this Bolstering with Charisma piece, this torso. Let's get rid of it. Turn it into Zealots with Charisma and Junk Weight Reduction. Okay, again, Charisma. That's just never a useful... unless you care about caps and saving caps as much as possible. Charisma just isn't all that useful. Junk weight reduction, you know, I have a Fallout First tent, so I don't really need that all that much either. So, yeah, this is not what I'm looking for. All right, let's try for another right leg. We got Aristocrats with poison resistance and chance to reduce damage while not moving. Okay, Aristocrats, I'm not thrilled with. Again, that's just extra resistance I don't need. However, I do like the poison resistance part of it. Chance to reduce damage while not moving. Not thrilled with that either. I do like the poison resist, and I haven't gotten a lot of those pieces, so this is a maybe. So these are the pieces that I've decided to stick with for now. I've got the Aristocrats, which I don't care. I don't think Aristocrats is doing anything for me, but I'm keeping it because it has the poison resist. It's the best piece that I got, the best right leg that has poison resist. So there's that, and a chance to reduce damage while not moving. I don't think it's all that useful, but I know people really do like it. For the left arm, we've got Hunters with poison resistance and food, drink, and chem weight reduction. I do have cards for that, so that 3rd star is actually not going to be helpful. I'm mainly keeping this for the poison resistance. Damage from animals, it's okay, but mainly the poison resistance is why I'm keeping that piece. Then we have the Overeater's left leg, which has fire resistance and a chance to deal fire damage to melee attackers. Fire resistance is why I'm keeping this. I actually had 2 left legs to choose from, but they both had fire resistance, so I figured Overeaters was the way to go for there. And for the torso, this is Overeaters with less explosion damage and a chance to deal fire damage to melee attackers. This was the best one. I didn't really get a lot of good torsos, so this was the best one I kept. It's Overeaters. That's obviously a good effect. Less explosion damage, a little bit helpful, and power armor, not as helpful, but again, it's okay. This was the best option that I had. And for the right arm, we have Zealots with poison resist, and again, chance to deal damage to melee attackers. So I kept this one for the poison resistance. Zealots is actually okay because there are plenty of Scorched in the world, so this is an okay piece. But now I finally have a set of Strangler Heart power armor to mess around with. Hopefully I like it. Hopefully it'll be worth all the trouble. And hopefully you enjoy this video. If you did, please hit one of the buttons down below, and I hope you join me in the next one. Thank you very much.